All right, welcome to episode 82, verbalbrew.com. We've got Bill.
The people's choice.
Kevin. Apparently it's all about deuce deuce. And Andrew.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
And I'm Vern. Episode 82, verbalbrew.com. This is our first four of us in the same province in 2 years.
Something like that.
Yeah, we thought we'd bring a little special...
Foursome.
No. Thought we'd record something together that's not illegal. Well, might be. So we went to check out some movies. We watched some videos. Started with Tekken.
Yes.
Three of us got to see it. Kevin had to be dragged off to a wedding yesterday, so he missed it.
You know weddings.
I don't believe him. I think he tried just to get out of it.
Rather have watched the movie. Or
Oh dear God, no you wouldn't. I'd rather be at a
no.
wedding. With that said, Tekken is what we watched. 2010 new film.
Yeah, they released a version of this earlier, didn't they?
I think so. I think there was a version from a few years ago. I don't know a thing about it other than that there was one. But yeah, this one directed by a guy named Dwight Little, starring Kelly Overton, Gary Daniels, John Fu. And I know what you're thinking. Who the hell are these people? I don't know either.
There were a couple people that we recognized. I mean, I think there was out of that entire movie, like 2 or 3 people that were like, "Oh, I've seen them in."
Kerry Hiroki Tagawa. Yes, that guy I know from something. I don't know.
Oh,
he
yeah,
was in the other fighter movie too. He was in Mortal Kombat.
Was he?
Was he really?
Yeah, he was the.
Was he Raven?
Wow, really padding the old resume, isn't he?
He was the main bad guy in that one too, who was chasing down the young hero coming into.
He's all about
His
chasing
own.
down the young.
All up in
Okay.
the young.
All
So-
up in the young.
With that said, it's based off of the video game Tekken. It's not much to it. So it's a movie about a fighting arena, and that's about it.
Yeah, there's it's kind of post-apocalyptic, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And yeah, for some reason, Tekken seems to be a franchise now. That it's a corporation that runs fighting events.
It's a city in the movie. It's essentially they have it divided up, and Tekken is the big conglomerate that owns all of the cities.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds fascinating.
I don't know. For some reason, there's big fighting tournaments to get bragging rights, I guess.
I suppose.
Street cred.
So we kind of watched it last night, and you're going to see hopefully some bits of our commentary as we were watching, but
And
to get
drinking
any more,
beer.
1 or 7.
So the coffee.
So do we want to give a quick or sober analysis of it?
For sure. So, thanks for the intro. So with that said, it sucked ass. The only thing fun about this movie for me was the fact that Bill was in town. We got to have some beer, a lot of beer, and make stupid comments, eat pizza, and have a great time.
You guys had pizza as well?
Pizza, garlic fingers,
We're big
and
time.
24 beers.
Right out of the company budget.
Or 3 of it. Yeah, well, yes, the
me.
company budget. Yeah. Anyway, that was the only good part, was the fact that you were here. Other than that, could care less. You could have put anything on the screen and I would have been there. This movie, though, brutal. I enjoyed our comments. That's about it. Really, I mean, it's something that I think I could have sat down in a drunken stupor and wrote this, because it was so, there was no flow to the story. The main hero, what was he, Yin or Jin or whatever, beats martial law, and that gets him into the big group. It made no sense. At one point he's making out with a girl, he's all like, "Yeah, I'm getting my Mac on. Oh, there's a helicopter, I better go save my mom." What? How did you know they were going after your mom? The Darth Vader looking gentleman that you kept pointing out, the group of them. I just did not like this movie at all. I would, never pay for this movie.
Again! Never again.
Yes, it's worth free.
It's worth free.
If someone takes you, you mean?
Yes.
To see the movie.
Free.
In a theater.
Theater. Anyway, point being, it's not a great movie. I didn't enjoy it.
Can I just interject
Of
really
course.
quickly, since I didn't see it?
Yes.
There's no storyline to the game. So I'm kind of wondering.
Funny, very similar to the movie.
Okay, that was all I was wondering.
The best part of the movie was this actress, Kelly Overton. Her ass crack was hanging out the whole movie. I noticed it. It smiled at me. And after that, I was looking when she was in the shots.
But did it
It winked.
They
We
made
were
a
talking
point
about
of really showing off her ass cleavage the entire time.
that. Yeah, and there's a reason.
Doesn't
That
sound
was the
so
storyline.
Oh,
She's
She's
a good
ass
looking
cleavage.
woman too.
Oh,
I
she
wanna
is.
see her more stuff.
She's a very fit
Real-
young lady.
Real
other
real
than the whale
acting
tail,
chops.
what were we?
She was very real in what she was doing, and she brought it.
She
Very
brought
much
it.
so. She
We have a
brought it.
camera, by the way.
I'm just saying, it was real.
So, what'd you think?
Yeah, it's not good. Well, I was thinking about it on the way home last night because I had a long walk.
The two streets?
The two streets. And I was thinking, this type of movie, I don't think anyone was going into it thinking it was going to be good.
No.
But at the same time, I thought there was going to be some of that corny, campy funness, goofiness,
Yeah, yeah.
And it didn't even
Like
have...
Crank 2 or something.
No, not like Crank 2, but maybe or something.
like lesbian vampire killers.
Okay, I'll give you that.
That's a
yes.
good point.
Elvis
I thought there
Greasy
might be
virus.
some of that, and there was none of that. So if you take away from that, how were the acting was bad, the story was bad. How was the fighting? And even the fighting, the editing was bad. Because when you're sitting there, you're thinking it's a kung fu karate type movie.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll see some cool shit. And everything was edited and over edited. There was a guy at one point, he gets kicked in the face, and there's 3 single shots to get from the guy standing there to kicking the guy in the face, and when he finally does kick him in the face, it's in slow motion.
It's like,
Yeah.
The
That's a lot of
editing for the
shots.
fight, the editing for the fight scenes
And
bad, and they sped up a lot of it. They did the fast forward thing, where he's doing his practice, so they have to speed it up to make him look
Yeah.
faster.
And they had
And
this,
you could see it, though.
and they had
That's
this
the
thing
bad
about
thing.
them running up the wall and jumping down to punch them in the face and stuff, but you wouldn't just see them running up the wall, you'd see them running towards the wall, and then the camera would be over here, and he's now running up the wall, and now the camera's over here, and you see him leaping down off the wall.
What I would
So-
do to that is super kick.
Yeah.
Or you could just back out of the way, and then when they're down, you do a football punt in the face.
I could just kick him in the nuts as he's coming straight down, just hi-ya, motherfucker, I busted your balls. Anyway, bad
So
editing.
what about you, Bill? Are you gonna bust its balls now too?
Yeah, well, I think I didn't certainly expect there to be a good story or anything like that, but at
Yeah.
least, like Drew was saying, something kind of entertaining or cheesy, or at least some good fighting. And yeah, the fighting's pretty goddamn fucking pedestrian in this. And it would have even been neat to, even if they did like some ridiculous over-the-top wire food nonsense, at least it would have been kind of entertaining. But it was pretty goddamn boring.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, I was disappointed in the fight scenes because you would think just that. I mean, fine, there's no story. The action's going to be okay. It wasn't even that. Like with Crank 2, that was one of the things we had said. Maybe not all of us liked it, but it was stupid action scenes, over the top, fine. This didn't have that. It had piss poor acting combined with really bad action scenes.
Yeah.
And maybe those scenes were great if you got to see the unedited version, but as Drew pointed out, like they did 15 angles on one move that wasn't even like crazy over the top. It was like he karate chopped him, so let's show that in slow motion. Anyway, I don't want to turn this into a Punisher where we.
The standout, Kelly Overton.
Yeah.
Show a picture now, Bill. Edit it.
Yeah.
There we go. Really great acting chops.
Especially since you didn't make that sound with your mouth. Oh my God.
One quick point I want to make: Hayashi or whatever his name is,
Yeah.
your main villain. Every time he comes on fucking screen, we burst out laughing. That's probably not the good sign that your villain's really kind of supposed to strike fear in the hearts of people.
No, there
I
was no
wish you
fear.
could find a picture.
Unless your
of
villain
Kelly
is-
Oh, I'm going to
Overton.
try to
Yeah,
find a
there.
picture. It should be here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Put it right there. So you
Maybe
didn't like
edit it in over Kevin for a minute.
it.
It was bad. Yeah, bad stuff.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so
There.
so since Bill was in town, he and his lovely wife drove down from well, not
Away.
wife. I say wife. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
His wife drove down from Toronto. What? said, why am I correct?
He's sniffing his fingers.
Apparently, that's what you look like you're doing on the video. What'd you do?
Good stuff.
So anyway, we checked out a couple movies while Bill was in town. There's a Hal-Con event over the weekend. We went to see Serenity, and before it, they were playing Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog with NPH, Neil Patrick Harris.
There you go.
Maybe we can talk a little about that. It was done. Bill knows more about this. I mean, maybe you can give us a better intro than mine. It was done a while ago when they were on strike.
Yeah, it was done a couple of years ago, back in like 2008 when the writer's strike was going on. I think Joss Whedon at the time had come up with the idea that he couldn't write stuff for film or TV, but he could write something for the internet.
Yeah.
So they did this little website, Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along blog, and then I think it was out in 3 different parts. And it's since come out on DVD now as well, I think last year or something like that. So.
Yeah. So we went to the Hal-Con event, and one thing that Andrew pointed out that I want to comment on, or maybe we can all agree with, well, the 3 of us, we went to the con event that they did, and this is no knock against... Wrath-a-Con, sorry. This is no knock against Hal-Con. That's fabulous. They did a great job.
Yes.
As always. And the crowd that was at the Wrath of Con was about a quarter of this. So before the show, before the show, we decided we'd grab a beer, and we ducked in, had 2 beers or so. When we went back, we walked into the theater, and I couldn't believe how many people were there. We had to sit down front and watch the movie. I mean, we were quite literally leaned. It's a good thing those chairs lean, but even with that, I'm sitting like this. I was waiting to fall asleep just because of my posture, not whether the movie's good or bad. Awesome job for them. I'm glad they had that many people. I just wish we had realized that more people would go to the Serenity and Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog than they did the Wrath of Con. Yeah. Because there were more than a quarter. Yeah, like the theater was 7/8 empty when we were there. The last
Wrath of Con was a smaller theater.
9/11
and it wasn't full. This was a bigger theater, and it was full.
It was awesome.
It was pretty cool.
So kudos to them. Hal-Con, awesome work. Can't wait to go to their can't wait to go to the event.
Site.
It'll be here.
It'll be there.
Check out the site.
That didn't look right.
Or it looked very right.
That's me shooting the site out. So with that, we checked out Dr. Horrible Sing Along. I've never seen this. It was done in 2008, you said?
Yeah, a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Never saw it. I'm curious as to what you guys thought. Let's start with Kevin, since you didn't get to talk in the last bit much. So
not much. That's okay. I had never even heard this before. Maybe like yourself, I'm familiar with Neil Patrick Harris doing some voiceover work, certainly, and we really beat the whole thing to death. And when we talked about one of the Batman Bold and the Brave episodes with the Music Meister.
Oh dear God,
but I love that. I thought he did a great job.
Oh yeah, my dear God was a good dear God.
Oh dear God, it's good. No, so this was, we walked in and it had kind of just started before we had our seats. So, we're making our way through the theater and we sit down and I look up and Neil Patrick Harris is there in this fucking evil scientist outfit, putting on these gloves like he's about to give a rectal exam, talking about his freeze ray.
If he's checking your rectum with those gloves, you got problems. Those are like welding gloves.
But at the time, because no one had told me this was playing before the actual movie that we went to see, I sit down and I'm thinking, what in Christ on a crutch did I get into? He's going to be singing opera while giving me a rectal exam? Great.
It's so dark in here. I poured it out. There's a mouse in there.
Well, that was perfectly horrible. You done?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was, for the uninitiated like myself, it's basically a kind of a love triangle type thing where Neil Patrick Harris is, he has his own normal life, but where he's not in costume and whatnot. He's trying to get into this association of really bad evil dudes that have a certain status among villains, if you will. So in his normal life, he goes to the laundromat to do his laundry. And he keeps bumping into this same woman over and over who naturally winds up being the love interest.
She's a good-looking lady, too. Sorry.
No, that's a good point. Very, very attractive young lady as these things go. Much better.
60 minutes.
That was more.
Go ahead. At any rate, so he's very intimidated to strike up a conversation. He's very shy and whatnot. But long story short, he's the main bad guy in the movie, and the main good guy is a fellow called Captain
Hammer, yeah.
Captain Hammer. There you
Neil,
go.
not Neil.
Nathan
Fillion.
Nathan Fillion, thank you. And
he's jacked in this. Andrew pointed that. Freaking huge in this movie.
yeah, big arms, small testicles. So
apparently he got the behind the scenes.
oh yeah, behind reach around type. So they wind up, of course, without spoiling too much. She falls for this Captain Hammer dude, and Neil Patrick Harris is jilted in the whole thing. But it's all told through obviously through normal narrative and whatnot. But then there's singing, and the songs aren't just verse chorus. They're done more in the show tune type of lots of key changes, lots of weird shit going on musically. And I hate musicals. I fucking hate musicals. But I liked this.
Yeah.
I really thought this was really well done and cool, and I hadn't heard of it.
Yeah.
Big convert. I mean, I wasn't like the people that were there. I was shocked. There were people there singing along behind us there, and he's doing
clapping
the waving,
at
and
everything.
people are waving their hands in the theater, and I'm
it was
thinking,
awesome.
oh my god. But I mean, I can see why people would really dig this because it was so well done, and the songs weren't just one-off. Someone threw it together in 2 minutes. There were great arrangements, and it was really well done. And the story is kind of, we've seen it before a billion times, but I've never seen it like this before. This was really quite interesting.
And on the music, I really liked there was a couple scenes. There was one specifically where Dr. Horrible was singing about the events that were going on, but the girl was singing at the same time, and they were kind of
meshing.
Not battling, but it was kind of going back and forth.
Yeah,
a
call
bit.
and answer, where he was giving her perspective of, oh, this is bad, and she was giving her perspective of, oh, this is good.
Yeah, and I liked it, but it was just, it's almost like I want to watch it again because it was sort of like I was trying to capture what was going on, but I thought it was done really well, that it was catchy.
Yeah, it was very catchy. And I hadn't heard of it, but this was great. It's not very long. What is it, 40 minutes?
Maybe not even quite that. Yeah.
Maybe half an hour.
Yeah, it's 3 chapters, and I think each one's maybe like 15 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and you've seen it before.
Yeah. I think Bill was probably the only one that's seen it before. Am I right?
Yeah.
So, none of us knew anything about it, but went in and check it out. Definitely worth watching. It's got a real tongue-in-cheek style. Kids can watch it because it's got the whole caricature type characters. Adults can watch it because there's certainly some innuendo there.
Straight
That's
up.
not the hammer. You know what I'm saying?
My penis is the hammer.
It comes back. My penis is there.
And the whole damn
It's just
theater
funny.
started roaring.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen A, that many people in a movie, or B, that many people actually laugh at the funny parts. And you know what I mean?
Enjoying the movie.
Exactly. So if we can get away from some of the Hollywood big budget kind of stuff and get more into this more clever writing, with a lower budget maybe, but better
You're getting more bang for your buck, right? You're getting more value out of it. It's more traditional, where they're putting more emphasis on the story and allowing the actors to act and do their thing the way they do it, and bring character there instead of, okay, so Leonardo, I want you to play a grumpy young guy. Okay, great, I can do that, right? Like he's the same character every movie. You pointed it out with Scott Pilgrim, that kid there. He's the same character in every movie, right? So these guys, I mean, Nathan Fillion has been in a ton of shit, and he's different in everything he does. He actually acts. Neil Patrick Harris, way different in everything he's done. I mean, it's Doogie Howser, for Christ's sake.
For Christ's sake.
Goodness sake.
Well, Christ was supposed to be good.
So you liked it, obviously.
Yes, I liked it. I would compare this to kind of like how the Xbox Live Arcade Marketplace has indie games. This was kind of more that flavor for me. So I'm all for this.
It was indie, but it was funded project for $200,000.
Yeah,
well, that's pretty
compared
cheap.
to a fifth.
I know.
How much
that's
does
ridiculously
fucking
cheap.
Tom Cruise or Julia fucking Roberts make?
I would
for
suspect
a movie?
3/4 of that's probably salary, to be honest, right?
Salary.
Salary.
I like
the
Brock.
actor's
It's all
salary, right?
salary.
Because
Actually,
the
I
Actors
wonder,
Guild.
maybe they might not have gotten paid because the strike was going on at the time.
Yeah, maybe. That's
Or,
a good
well,
point.
no, writers wouldn't have gotten paid. The actors probably would have gotten something.
Well, I know.
They probably just did it for fun, though, too.
True, but I know one of the big things is with I've heard, I don't know because I don't act, but with the Actors Guild and all those guys, they get their hands in there and they tell them, no, you've done this many movies, you've done this, blah, 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 blah. This is what you have to pay them.
Yeah.
So because it's unionized, it doesn't matter, you have to pay them. Unless they flat out say, no, I don't want to be paid.
Pay me and I'll give it to a charity.
Anyway, so you liked it,
Yeah, pass it on.
Andrew.
Yeah, I agree with everything
Why are
he
you
said.
touching my breasts all the time?
Because you like it. And I like it too.
60 minutes.
6 minutes, yeah. Something else, because everything you've said I agree with. I didn't even know what the title of the movie was until the next day I was asking.
I didn't know
people,
if
'cause
it
I didn't
started this show.
No.
It's true.
But the writing was very tongue in cheek and funny, and the music was well written, and it like you said, it's so tongue in cheek that it's almost, the story's there, but it's almost not important. But I think something we don't really we did touch on it just a little bit just
Yeah.
now, but the acting of Neil Patrick Harris, I think, made this as good as it was. Like just the way he was. Because as soon as I sat down and I was watching, as you said, it had already started. And he's looking at you, kind of like we're looking at you, because he's doing a computer blog. And it's just, the way he's passing his lines off and stuff, it was just funny. And if anyone else had done it, it may not have been that funny, just the way he was doing it, and the looks he was getting on his face and stuff. And even the guy that played Captain Hammer,
Nathan
Fillion, even he was doing a good job. It was a little more of a character, I guess, but it was still funny. Like, I mean, there was that time when the homeless guy touches him on the shoulder and stuff.
Oh, I like the homeless.
Yeah. So no, it was refreshing. Might be a good word to use. It was nice. I liked it.
Like lemonade.
All right.
Like
So,
lemonade. This was lemonade.
yeah. So like these two, I had never seen it, never heard of it. Absolutely loved it. Raved about it to my wife when I got home at 3 in the morning because the event went very late.
I bet you love that.
I was like, "Hey, wake up! I gotta tell you about the movie."
I got a hammer in my penis. I mean.
What? Very good movie. Fabulous. I thought it was hysterical. I think you pointed it out. We need more of this. I would like to see more things from Joss. I like his stuff typically anyway, but this just was another level for me where I'm like you. I'm not big on the musicals. Some are okay, like Phantom of the Opera type. You go to that, you know what you're getting into, right? The throwing in the musicals, very funny. And he's done a lot of that with his shows, like Buffy. They've done musicals. They've done different shows. He's stuck in these musicals, and they've worked. And this totally worked every way they did it. And Neil Patrick Harris, to be able to change gears from the bumbling nerd guy that's terrified of the girl to I'm gonna kick some ass and kill people, just that kind of dynamic where he could show that range in the show.
Something else I enjoyed was his questioning whether or not he could kill somebody.
Yeah.
When it was
straight
brought
I'll
up, it
kill
wasn't
somebody.
just, oh, well, then I'll kill it. He questioned whether or not he could kill somebody, which I liked.
The point, just to explain, the point of him having to kill someone or wanting to was to get into this club of supervillains that have certain statuses. You have to kill somebody. So
At this point, you need to kill somebody. You need to draw blood, and in order to join. And he did show that kind of like emotion where he's like, I'm down with Robin and doing stuff, but I don't know about killing people. That's a whole other level. Even just the supporting cast. What was that drippy guy, the water guy?
Yeah, the guy from Big Bang Theory.
Big
I
Bang
have no idea
Theory.
what his
I
name is.
forget his name.
Morty
He plays Howard on Big Bang Theory. He is a funny guy, and I didn't realize how funny. I mean, I knew he was funny on Big Bang, but I thought that was just because it's his character and the writers are writing it that way. But even in this, his character is funny. So I'm presuming he's a pretty funny, nerdy type guy, right? Thought this was great. Suggest if you haven't seen it, go see it. If you have seen it, watch it again.
sing along this time.
Billy, I know you liked it.
Yeah, I liked it as well. And like all you guys have said, I'm not a fan of musicals at all.
Yeah.
They annoy the piss out of me, to be pretty fucking frank. But I do enjoy this, and I think, like you were saying, that it's a really high quality production the way they do their musical numbers. I'm also a big fan of anything like this that's kind of like just
Unique.
Well, unique and released on the internet as opposed to just regular television and things like that. And obviously that gives them more freedom to do what they want to do, type of thing.
Yeah.
So I'd be a big fan if they found more projects like this to do, especially something like this that probably they knocked out in like a week or two or something like that. So
This is something I could see us doing. I mean, if we had
talent.
Talent.
But I mean, that's how I was
More than
relating
one
it to.
camera.
Yeah, the one camera tucked away in the other room. By the way, this is my basement. There you go. So now you've gotten a glimpse into my abode. Yeah, well worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's great.
And that was just the opener.
Yeah. So then we got into the movie, which is Serenity, which was, when was that? 2005. It was out. It's based off of the TV show Firefly. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Because I never watched Firefly. I think we've touched on it. No, touched on it. We talked about it on the show. Apparently, that's a confusing word. We talked about it on the show, Bill and I. I still haven't gotten around to picking up some DVDs and watching that. I know it was a canceled series, and then they did the movie to kind of wrap everything up.
Yeah, the series only lasted, I think, like a dozen episodes or something like that.
It got huge reviews, though. It's got a giant cult following.
I think that was the thing. Like, nobody watched it when it was on, but it did really well in DVD sales and stuff like that, and they wanted to kind of give a chance to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So they did the full movie, brought everybody back in 2005.
Yeah.
And so written and directed by Joss Whedon with the same cast from Firefly: Nathan Fillion, Gina Torres, Alan Tudyk, Summer Glau, Ron Glass from Barney Miller.
Yeah.
Pile of people. So. And you guys, none of you guys had seen this before. Either.
Never saw it before. This was the first time, so we got to see it on the big screen with a very devout crowd.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cheering, even through this, a lot of cheering, a lot of talking along lines, one-liners that were being read. I could hear people around me saying it.
Saying the same damn thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking, shut up. I've already got it in 7.1 Dolby Digital Surround. But I get it. I mean, they're big fans, and that's awesome. Just maybe quieter. I say that with love.
Much enough.
I had a great time in this movie. It's sci-fi. I like sci-fi. It's kind of... I know the special effects aren't over-the-top great, but I thought it was a well-done movie. I know I'd like the show, so now I have more of an interest in watching the DVDs. I got a kick out of the entire cast, the characters. Nathan Fillion as Mel. He's got that... He again shows his acting chops here, where he's got that range with his acting. Like, he's playing this cocky guy over in Dr. Horrible's sing-along. He's also on TV now as Castle, which is conceited guy. I've seen like part of an episode. He seems very smarty.
I think so. I haven't really watched it much either, but
check out the televixen.com. I'm sure she watches it.
She does.
I liked it. I mean, it was just a good sci-fi movie. I could watch it again quite easily, and I do really want to check out the 12 or so episodes that they did on this. It seems like a cheaper version and more adult-orientated Star Wars. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of... Because it's spacey, they've got all different shit going on.
Without the lightsabers.
No lightsabers and no
Or
Jedis.
the Force.
Well, there might be a
midichlorians.
Force, but they didn't talk about it. I don't know.
The first rule of the Force, you don't talk about the Force.
The one thing that I did have a bit of an issue with, and your wife pointed this out, and I didn't want to say anything when we were leaving the theater, the ending, there's kind of that, okay, it's going to end. Okay, it's going to end. Just duke it out and fucking end. That was a little long in the tooth. Out of the entire movie, that portion for me was the longest part, was the ending, because you think it's over, but they have to show this. You think it's over, but they have to show this. And it may just come back to the fact that they were trying to wrap up a series, that they had a bunch of stories and loopholes to close over here that a lot of fans want to close, so we have to close them. So we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Just to interrupt on your point there, if you hadn't, like when I saw this for the first time, I saw the movie by itself. I didn't know a thing about the show, so it works very well as a standalone thing. You don't have to be familiar with the show to watch it first.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I got that. I mean, I didn't feel like I was out of the loop. They did a very good job of, I got to know the characters through the movie without having to watch the show and watch a dozen episodes to know, okay, so that's Mel. He's the captain of the ship, right? I liked it, though. I thought it was very good. Really got nothing else to say.
Yeah, in a weird way, I think I preferred this movie without seeing the show, because I didn't have to go through the usual, these are the characters, let's introduce them, and go through all the small things you have to do. Because there were some love stories there that they alluded to, and but I didn't have to go through the crap of them falling in love or anything. It was just there, and it was kind of, okay, that's good, I'm happy for that.
Yeah, they have a history, deal with it.
Exactly, and I did like that. I would say, overall, I enjoyed it, and I sort of want to watch it again, only because I was sort of, again, watching it like this, and I was, my buzz was wearing off, and I was slightly tired, and I was...
I thought you were going to fall asleep, and I know you
there
were
was
into
one
it. If you didn't
second
fall
I thought
asleep.
I was going to start just catching some fireflies.
There you go.
Terrible.
It's really bad.
It was.
60 minutes.
You know, overall, I really enjoyed it. If I had two complaints about it, one was the ending, because it did just drag. They needed to just cut that out. My other problem was with the story. Not that I didn't mind what they were going through, but the story, the story of what happened on that planet, didn't seem to me like it was that big of a deal that they had to go through. I know it was supposed to be a catastrophe and it was a bad thing that happened,
And it led to all the bad shit that's
my
going
thought
on
is
in the
just
universe.
shit happens, right? And it just, that didn't seem to be as important of a thing as they were leading it on to be, that, oh, as long as the world can, or the universe can see that this happened, everything's going to fall into place and it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's kind of, well, you know, shit happens, you know. So that part of it was a little weak. But overall, it was a fun movie because I think the characters were, there was some wit to the movie. It didn't take itself uber serious. And from a set developments and stuff like that, I thought the spaceships looked really cool.
They were unique. It wasn't the typical, here's your spaceship, this is what it looks like. It has wings, it has...
Yeah.
It was very oddly shaped with this motor on the back end that rotated.
In the middle of it,
It was,
and
it was
at the end, when they were
design.
flying away, and they were kind of in this like cockpit type thing, and they both had their own little.
Yeah.
That looked neat too. So, I'd say overall, I was pretty surprised at how much I liked it. Really.
What'd you think?
I mean, it was good. It was the kind of thing where I went in again. I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah.
And some of the things, again, I kind of like Drew, I wasn't overly crazy about, but by and large, it pulled everything off well enough that the whole package was certainly worth checking out, and I could see why a lot of people would really get into it. I think you're a much bigger sci-fi kind of.
I get into that stuff a little bit more. I like to read sci-fi. I like to watch it. I tend to like that stuff anyway.
Yeah, and I'm more, I can take it or leave it. But this was well enough done that certainly there'd be a lot of people who would get into it, and there's enough character development. Surely the show being on before that had something to do with it. I don't know because I didn't see that either.
Yeah.
But it was carried off, as Bill said, well enough in a standalone capacity that you didn't need to see it, and you could get into what was happening, and you could relate to it and all that kind of stuff without really having to worry about, oh, I need to know this and this and this and this and this. One complaint that I have that's kind of an ongoing thing, I feel like I'm just fucking repeating myself all the time.
It's going to bring up the cheese grater.
No cheese graters.
Oh, sorry.
My gilded cheese grater. No, is whenever there's an enemy that needs to be introduced, and this is the same for any fucking anything that's ever been written.
Yeah.
The good guys, the protagonists that we're supposed to be hoping for, are always outnumbered, outgunned, out this, out that. Why can't they put out a story where the good guys aren't like that?
So the good guys have equipment instead of, hey, I got a can of shit over here, I'll build a car, and the bad guys have cars already built.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be one thing. And the second thing, just to ape your number, because I like aping you,
Whoa.
is the Reavers, or the idea of the Reavers.
Yeah.
If you replaced Reavers with zombies, you pretty much had the exact same muppety fucking thing.
Sorta.
I would
Don't
agree.
you start, Mr. Dini.
I'm just.
Yes and no. Yes, I get that. I can see that very easily twisting and saying, hey, they're zombies, but they're space zombies.
Exactly.
I can see that happening.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And the thing that bugs
But
me
I was
so
okay
much,
with it.
The thing that bugs me so much about zombies is if they're dead and decomposing and missing body
They're
parts
eventually
and
going
stuff,
to die.
how are they able to move so
Yeah.
fast? How are they so super
Well, I
strong?
don't think these
It
were
drives
supposed to
me
be
nuts.
dead.
No, I
No.
think they were just people that
Sort
they
of lost their mind.
almost de-evolution, right? They turned into, so you end up going from human that can, do shit and comprehend things to, okay, caveman that's just going to smash things.
You said
Yet they
do
have
shit.
do shit. Yes, do shit.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they weren't.
But I
dead.
think they weren't dead. They were fucked up in the head. They were a bunch of cannibals. Is essentially they turned into.
But they were way faster than the humans and way stronger. They were punching through the blast doors.
But that was because of
I can't even
the
punch through
drugs
this
that have been
fridge.
administered to them.
Yeah,
They
it's like
said,
doing too much steroids. They had
But
roid rage.
this is what
Yeah.
I'm saying about. But that's the thing with
Yeah.
every sci-fi thing. It's just this one magic thing that explains away everything. And that's kind of the be all and it's the whole God works
get
in
that.
mysterious ways bullshit.
Well, they
it
don't
just-
bring up God in sci-fi. It's sci-fi. There's no gods.
Whatever. The Force works in mysterious
gods,
ways.
but
My
there's
ass
not.
works in mysterious. Anyway,
Well,
but
that's
it wasn't bad at all. It wasn't bad. I thought
I'm
some of
glad
the
to hear that.
characters were good. And again, some of the ship designs were really interesting, and it wasn't the same old shit all the time.
Wasn't an X-wing painted different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys didn't mention it, but one chickie on there I thought was really cute. The one who
Two cute ones.
I thought the engineer one.
Oh yeah,
Not
yeah,
the,
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't. The fucking
Summer Glau?
the freaky
No,
one. No,
Joel,
I didn't care for her. She drove me nuts. That whole bullshit.
Well, Summer Glau was the one that was all martial artsy.
Yeah,
and
didn't
this.
like her. I'm talking about the engineer one that wanted to fuck the doctor.
Jewel State.
Yeah.
What?
Jewel
Jewel
State.
State.
Oh,
I'm
thank
pointing at our off-camera
monitor.
monitor so we know what's
Teleprompter.
going on.
Teleprompter. That's right.
Nice, that's the words for it.
There you go. But
That-
aside
that
from
is
that, I
the
thought her
words.
character was good too because she's going along with all this shit and
Yeah.
she brings some comic relief. All of them have some.
All the
fairly
battery
funny-
comment, I was fucking dying.
The battery
And then
thing.
I'm gonna get laid. Fine, I'm getting through this. I'm killing everybody. Like I was like, that's awesome.
The
She
battery
didn't
thing.
say it that way, but yeah, it
Yeah,
was meant
blew
to.
my mind. So there's some great
Yeah.
one-liners. I'm not going to go on about it, but it's not perfect, but it was really interesting and pretty well done. And I think more your cup of tea maybe, but
Yeah.
it was still palatable. How's
The
that?
thing that I
Nice.
like,
With a biscuit.
the thing that I liked about the captain Nathan Fillion, his relationship to the people on the ship was
He was a hard ass.
He was he was a hard
Depending
ass,
on the
but he was
person.
friendly with them. But at the same time, it was you're here to do a job. I'm
A
paying
friendly
you
hard
to do a
ass.
job.
Yeah.
So if you don't do your job, I'm going to shoot you or I'm going to leave you. Whatever.
You're a manager in retail, aren't you?
So just do your fucking jobs. or I'm going to shoot you. No, that's not on camera. And I mean it in the good way.
We only have 60 minutes to record
Okay.
this shit.
No,
Speed
but
it up.
no, I did like that relationship that he had with them, where it wasn't so. It was kind of a leadership role, but it was a real leadership role. If you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, like I'm your boss, just fucking do this.
Yeah, it wasn't like the Captain Picard. I'm buddy with everybody. They're all my friends. I tell them what to do. They're going to do it. They had their friction in this, where one guy's like, "Fuck you. I don't want to do that." Well, here's your alternative. You do it, or I shoot you.
Yeah, that's what that Adam Baldwin character. I love the teleprompter.
It's pretty cool, isn't
It
it?
is. I like that. He
Yeah,
played
so-
Jane. Anyway.
So, Billy, you've seen this before a couple times, different
Yeah,
setups.
I had seen it back on the original theatrical run, literally as I'm bored this afternoon. I feel like going to the movies. I've heard good things about this, knowing nothing about it going
yeah.
in. And yeah, I fucking love it. And I've seen it a bunch of times since. Every year they usually do a screening somewhere in a lot of big cities. So I
Yeah.
caught one a couple of years ago where they rerun it in theaters and for charity and stuff like that. Because while it didn't do super well in theaters, it's still amassed
Still
this,
making money.
yeah, it's still amassed this critical following. So, well, like the theater we're at, that just fills
Fucking
theaters.
rammed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I think the dialogue is fucking brilliant in this, and I think that's what really makes it worth multiple watchings. Because I think, I don't know if it was just me or what, or maybe just where we were sitting way up front, but I found for the first 20 minutes or so, the audio seemed a little muffled, and I was having a hard time hearing stuff.
It was
but-
either that or the beer.
could have been the beer. But yeah, but the same. There's, like you guys were saying, there's some great one-liners happening all the way through it, and so it's great to watch multiple times. And I think something else you guys talked about, just the relationships between all the characters. Like you were saying, like with Captain Mal, how he handles people. Like, we're not best friends. Like, I will shoot you
Yeah.
in the fucking face if you don't do your fucking job. Strap these
Yeah.
skeletons to the front of the ship.
Yeah. Do what you gotta do. They're dead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you say, it's a unique style. It's kind of a bit of a Western style to it,
Yeah.
especially with the soundtrack. The song that they had back in the TV show was actually, the intro song was really great. It was in that Western style, which is kind of unique for a sci-fi thing, so it was really cool. I cannot pronounce this guy's name. No, I'm not even going to try. Maybe I'll throw a picture up of him because he's an awesome actor. But the operative, the guy who's the main assassin.
the black guy.
Yeah.
The main assassin working on behalf of the, what are they called? Just the
The
government.
associate or
The
whatever it is, the association or
yeah,
something like that.
something.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
I forget all the fine
Republic?
details, but basically it's like after the big war, basically it's come down to, it's just America and China are the only things running. And one of the things actually, on that point, one of the things I love is sometimes you'll hear them slip into Chinese, which I think was a brilliant fucking move because it allowed them to curse on TV in Chinese.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
they did that in the movie where they were in the bar and they
Yeah.
started. Where are the subtitles?
See, I didn't understand that until just now.
I think
Yeah.
I had to like catch one of the making ofs or something like that where they kind of flushed it out a bit and explained why it was
Yeah.
why they did that. But yeah,
I just thought
a
they
good
fucked
excuse
up.
to
I thought
fucking.
there weren't subtitles. I thought. Forgot the subtitles.
Muff
Stupid
the
fucks.
line, don't have enough tape
Yeah.
to go back and do it over. Just run with it.
Keep going.
I think there's one thing to your point about the Reavers and stuff. I think it was not only so much that about the Reavers themselves, but that it was kind of the government or whatever had kind of made them that way.
Yeah.
And there's one point where they kind of discover the tape of kind of the log of whatever actually happened. And the one scene I like is when there's like what is there, like 7 or 8 of them standing around watching this tape. Jane, the hard ass, is the one that says, "Turn it off, I can't watch this anymore." And I thought that was just a really subtle but really nice point to it that
It touches.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, a good character point. So yeah, I'm a big fan of it, so I totally recommend checking it out.
Yeah, I think it was great. I forgot about that guy that, not forgot, but I didn't mention him. I agree, the bad guy in this was very good. I liked
Yeah.
his he's calm and cool and he doesn't get angry. And then there's a couple points where he's like, he's losing his shit because Mel fucking got away with it,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that just shows that character Mal is a smart guy, a smart ass, a smart guy. He'll take care of his people if you're one of them. Otherwise, piss off. He's got
He's
no
a
use for
badass.
you.
And
To
Mal,
a degree, like he's like a Han Solo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He really is.
but Mal is French for bad, is it not?
To be
Think
honest,
about that.
I don't remember French class.
Well,
Mal is short for Malcolm, but sure. And one other point, Moreno.
Well,
Malcolm
Malcolm
is
I was kidding.
Anyway.
God.
Moreno, what's her name? Really needs to grow her hair back. I don't care if she's cut it short for V or not. She needs to grow it back.
Oh yeah, the lead character on V. I didn't realize that. Andrew mentioned that. Yeah, V.
I'm sorry, who was she playing? I'm sorry.
Nara, the professional prostitute.
With
Oh.
the longer
Yeah.
hair.
She was cute, and I had mentioned that on the drive home. She was cute as well.
But no, see, I thought the other one was much cuter. I'm sorry.
The engineer.
No,
I
she
thought
was
the
cute.
engineer was
The
the best.
engineer was
of the
very
group.
cute,
much
but I was just
later.
talking about the 60 Minutes. I was just talking. I said she's cute too, and he said, "You know who it is?"
And
I
I'm
explained.
Mike Wallace.
And I'm Mike Wallace. Today, racism is over.
So the reason we're discussing. Oh my dear God! It's on video now.
I said racism is over. How bad is
We
that?
fixed racism. Awesome.
It's fixed.
Brew.
Thanks to the
Saved
Reavers.
the world.
Peanut butter sandwiches?
So the comment about 60 Minutes is we've had 60 minutes to record. Bill has so graciously brought all of his equipment to capture our first video of the four of us. First time in 2 years that we've all been in the same province, same room, and now on video.
And now on video.
And now you know what we all look like.
It's terrible, eh?
Now you know why it's an audio show.
That's right.
Yeah, there's talk about the future. We may end up with video. It depends on the budget. We need to get some things going on like the Televixen has, going to set, tours and designs and that sort of thing.
Getting
in
free
there.
headphones.
Free headphones would be nice. We use our headphones quite frequently.
That's right.
I love
Microphones.
headphones.
Microphones, laptops. Just putting the list together of what we take check, Visa.
You can
We
probably
would like some
stop now.
PS3s.
So, as Vern said, we only have about 60 minutes, so this has
Yes,
been great for us, for me, anyway.
I've
Thank
enjoyed
you,
it.
Bill,
Yep.
again, for putting
Thanks,
this
Bill.
together.
he's gonna do all the editing. So you've seen him touching things over here. It's because he's. let me start over.
It's
Our
his
little
right,
secret.
to his right, he is touching a laptop because
Shut
he's
up, Billy.
controlling everything.
Not
He
you,
isn't.
Billy.
He isn't touching Kevin.
Yet.
Speaking of touching, go to slicefate.com.
So
There's
you
currently
need to
a
touch your
story about a
keyboard?
priest. Which is
There you go. There you go. Yeah, check out slicefate.com. This is the creator,
The man.
the myth, the something.
Pencil pusher.
Yeah, he draws and stuff.
Also check out the televixen.com, who will be talking about all kinds of stuff, I'm sure, because I know that TV is much more interesting than we are.
Definitely.
Sure.
And as always,
For some people.
thanks for listening.
And also check out Hal-Con. Is that it?
Hal-Con.com.
Thank you.
There you go.
Hal-Con.
And it's right here again.
It's right here.
Check out any upcoming events that they may have, because they are going to be doing more stuff like this, are they not? For their
Yeah, they're going to continue to do this. It's their drive for this year's event that they have coming up, October, and I've already heard they're starting to look at next year. They've gotten such a great response already from sponsors and just people that want to come to Halifax for an actual sci-fi con event held in a place other than my basement. So, I mean, and I'm not knocking the previous shows. They were previous events that they've done, but they were not of the caliber that Hal-Con's bringing together, which is amazing to see, right? It's getting a lot of publicity, and hats off to them. Keep it up, guys.
Absolutely. So
Jennifer
check out their
and
site.
Baja and the whole bunch.
Yep.
So, again, thanks for listening,
Thank
and
you. And watching.
yeah, watching. That's great.
Maybe we'll see you again sometime. Or maybe not.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye.
Okay, so it's crazy, whatever it is, world. They have those kinds of outfits. Like,
The world's
really?
gone to shit. Fucking tailors are fantastic.
Yeah, like the tailors are making a mint.
Plastic surgeon's done so much.
I'm very confused about this movie.
What are you confused about? It's an action movie
I know, but it's
based on the
Tekken.
video game.
I know that.
So they're
asshole.
going to be in a ring fighting.
What I'm saying is Tekken's a brand. It's a franchise. Like, why did I not ever hear of this? I just thought it was a cartoon.
Oh,
This looks like something people tried to put their time, money, and effort into.
yeah.
But I never heard of it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. So was I supposed to know that number? Sector
I hope
45
not. That's why I
numbers
wasn't
and
paying any attention.
couple
I
letters.
saw something about Anvil. I don't know if that means we're going to be in Scarborough at some shitty ass bar or something like that, or
Anvil, very good. Anvil, very good. What is that character's name? He looks just like him. Andrew's eyebrows when he does the drum.
I mean, 21. Yeah, still. I'm paying it 20
what is Lucky Snipes? He got some work.
I was gonna say, wasn't he in Demolition Man? Oh my God, that's the Jamaican bobsled team.
Street fight. That was for money.
And this is for a cause. Hayachi machine guns, Tekken Gestapo treat us like slaves.
Got my own life, my own problems. I told you, man, this asshole is a waste of
Like
time.
acting
No, no.
lessons.
He's just
They're expensive.
die in the anvil instead.
Guy better fucking know how to fight.
Yeah.
So I hope they didn't hire him for his acting ability.
It's a kid that's in On Back.
Oh, Tony Jaa?
Tony Jaa.
Yeah,
That guy can fly.
yeah.
This kid better be.
That's awesome.
Looks just
Oh my
like
god. That guy looks like that magician.
Doug Henning.
Yeah, it's Doug Henning.
You mean the sorcerer? Doctor Strange?
No, I don't know. Some,
Ravine!
The People's Choice. Oh my God, it's The Rock. He's a lot smaller and a little yellower. I mean, more Asian.
$10 is the longest shot.
She said, "Suck my dick."
Wow, and by shot, I
What?
mean hit with a rocket. Wait, weren't there about 10 of their own guys in there?
Apparently, it doesn't matter. They're indestructible.
They're stormtroopers.
guys.
We can just clone more.
It's like Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Now I will fight in the tournament.
Wait, did you say Boba Fett?
Boba Fett? Well, they cloned Boba Fett for the.
Boba Fett. Boba Fett's like some Elvis guy. Love me,
No,
tender, love me
Boba
too.
Fett.
I got a rocket back. Hooah!
Listen,
you know,
I
just see
prefer
how he
the
gets
name
2 feet
Boba
off
Fett.
the ground.
okay, fine, Boba Fett, you fuckers. But I like Boba Fett. It works better.
He's jolly.
Can't you picture Elvis in that outfit? He's known as Elvis the Pelvis.
I never personally believed in foes. Bubba, you're power practice apparently. Oh, for the love of Christ, your mom died, get over it.
I love in the flashbacks, mom's the same age. They made a lot of effort with the makeup.
Well, you find with the Asian chicks, they usually age pretty good, like they get to a certain age and then they go downhill, but up to like 40 or something, they're pretty smoking. It's in the textbooks, check it out.
It's science, people!
It's science.
Did that guy's accent disappear?
Down the left?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was kind of Russian when it started, now
just a white guy
it's just a white guy.
from New Glasgow. Starring in a movie. Filmed in Sackville.
Expertise to our new fighter.
Let me introduce you. This is Jen. People's Choice.
Well, congratulations on a spectacular fight.
Laverne,
Impressed
People's
my-
Choice. Like, really?
But it's opportunity.
Continue winning and you will. There's something familiar about your style. Did your father-
It's because your father is my father.
I'm not a
You know that's what it's leading to, right?
Work hard.
No spoilers.
Someday you could be an asset.
I'm just sitting here waiting because I wanted to ask him how was that going. It was very good.
And very good.
Nothing. What does anyone ever do
Did
about
you
it?
say her father was building a jackhammer?
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it has.
In Tekken, it's that guy with the big fist.
Sure.
Don't you know, with the mohawk, the jackhammer?
First off, I think his name is just Jack.
Well,
And the hammer is my penis.
that was awesome. That was awesome.